What's up, guys? JP here, and this is going to be part 2 in my Evil Dead trilogy review. We're going to go to Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn from the year 1987, and it has a tagline of the horror comedy of the decade. Well, obviously a pun on decade. Evil Dead 2. Some people say it's a sequel, some people say it's a remake, some say it's a remake slash sequel, which is probably what it really is. The first few minutes of it is kind of a remake of the first film, and the reason behind that, from what I get, is Sam Raimi wanted to have a recap with the original footage from the first Evil Dead at the beginning of the movie, just to kind of catch everybody up on what's going on. Similar to like the Friday the 13th, how they do that. Um, and he wasn't able to do that for whatever legal reasons, so he decided to just remake the beginning part, which probably ended up confusing people in the long run more than, helping them. So yeah, and the thing about the first few minutes is they didn't remake it, with all the characters to get you to know that this is what happens. It's kind of more, just Ash and his girlfriend, so that even probably led to more confusion, and I could see the debate, and it kind of never really has a, it's kind of a smooth transition between the remake part and the sequel part, so it never really lets you know, like, hey, this was a recap. So it's pretty interesting. There's not many movies that are like that. So yeah. Evil Dead 2. It's a fun one. It really is. Like, this is the first one I seen. I seen it when I was really young. I didn't even know this was part of a trilogy. I honestly, I didn't even know it was part 2. Um, when I was a kid. I don't know why. I don't know if I just never knew it was a part 2. I don't think I ever seen or noticed the Roman numeral 2 or anything. So yeah, it was kind of weird going back, and because I seen Army of Darkness after this one, and then I went back and seen the original one much later, and it was kind of weird seeing a straight up horror film when you're used to the kind of horror comedy part of Evil Dead. Um, yeah, let's go into the movie a little bit. I'm kind of rambling on here. It picks up. It has a little recap with Ash and his girlfriend. She eventually gets possessed. The tape recorder's in there, all the good stuff. The Book of the Dead, and inked in human flesh or human blood and bound in human flesh. I really like the intro to this movie that has the little book animation and stuff. I really like that part. So yeah. He's basically, his hand gets possessed and stuff. He's having a hell of a time in the cabin by himself after his girlfriend's gone. Some cool parts there. This movie starts up right away, and it's well paced the whole time. Probably one of the best parts of Evil Dead 2 is how well paced it is. I do like the slow beginning in the first one, but we'd seen that before. Let's get right to it in the sequel, and I definitely like that. Yeah, so eventually you meet a few new characters. The old couple who was staying at the cabin before Ash, the ones that were translating the Book of the Dead, and the guy's voice who's on the tape recorder. His daughter has some missing pages, and she's getting off a plane, and she's on her way to the cabin along with her partner or boyfriend or something, and then there's another couple that are locals that show them the way because the bridge is out. They eventually get there, and that's when I'd say it hits full sequel mode. Yeah, so well, actually, it probably hit sequel mode a little bit before that, but yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the sequel thing anymore. Some great scenes. To me, Evil Dead 2 has some of the standalone best scenes. Some of my favorite scenes of all time, and one coming to mind is one that actually scared me as a kid. I seen this movie really early. And I remember when Ash is down in the cellar, they lock him in. They think he's a maniac and stuff, and they play the daughter plays the tape recorder. Trying to figure out what happened to her parents, and the guy's going on in the tape recorder about how he fucked up basically by bringing the demons out, and his wife got possessed. She tried to kill him and stuff. He couldn't bring himself to dismember her, so he buried her in the basement. And it cuts to Ash, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm in the basement." And just when they said that in um, the original time I seen it, man, that really freaked me out. You know, it just there's something about the way that scene was shot, and then she pops up and stuff, and I always like the way that the demon possessed people sound too. I always liked they sounded like how I would think a demon possession thing would sound like. So yeah, I mean, this movie got some great scenes, but it also it is heavier on the comedy, and I always talk to people when I talk to them about this movie, like what do you think about the comedy and stuff? Because as Army of Darkness is like straight up comedy, but this one um, isn't so much. I think like what really is the most over the top part is the dishes, the hand possession dish smacking thing. It comes off really like slapstick comedy, but other parts of it, like the laughing scene with all the stuff laughing, that seems really dark to me and very. As a kid, I didn't even realize that it was supposed to be like kind of funny. It just was like, wow, what the hell's going on? Um, and then the scene with the axe, the chicks after Ash comes down from being, all possessed and stuff. I hope I'm not giving away too much. I assume everybody has seen this, but I'll try not to give away too much more. And the chick's coming at him with the axe. He's like, I'm all right," and it's that's some very like dark comedy that I like and I think works, because it's not straight in your face comedy. Some people might even see it as being funny, but it's dark humor, which I like that kind of humor. Um, and yeah, what else? Oh, Ash. The Ash character is awesome. Everybody knows that already. But watching it this time when he first goes into the work shed and chainsaw and shotgun and stuff, like I really looked at him. I started thinking like there's really no other like badass horror hero, protagonist type of character. Like he is the top dog in that section. He's the most badass. Normally it's the villain that's badass, but Ash is pretty cool, and I could definitely see how the Freddy versus Jason and Ash thing would have worked. I think it would have worked very well now that I think about it. It almost seems too perfect, and it sucks that they didn't capitalize on how cool of a movie that could have been. Yeah, so once again, I mean, Sam Raimi, the directing was good, the camera work, the lighting, the pacing was really well done. The effects, even the acting was an improvement. So yeah, definitely a well-made movie. But the thing that I keep coming back to is, do I like this one better than the first film? And that's a question that I keep asking myself, and I really don't know. I truly like them about the same. Maybe I would like this one a little bit more because it was the first one I seen. But the first film is such a more of a horror film, and it's scarier, and that's worth a lot to me. So that one is just, I really like it being a straight up horror film, and I honestly think that this film could have been better if it was a straight up horror film. Um, I think that the scary scenes work really well, and I don't see why they couldn't have worked all the way through without any comedy. But then again, I know people that are diehard fans of this one that love the comedy. Personally, I don't really mind it. There's certain things that I like, but other things that I could have done without. So I don't know. Anyway, I think I'll wrap this up, and I think I'm gonna give this film a 4.5 out of 5, just like the first Evil Dead. I really do like them about the same. I think they're, you know, both great movies. But for some reason, they're not my favorite. These aren't movies that I could watch over and over again all the time. But they are great. They really are. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Army of Darkness will be up next, and I'm actually really excited to watch that one. I haven't seen it in years, so I'll check that out, and I'll be back with another review. So see you guys later.